Republican Senator Lindsey Graham appeared at a local South Carolina event this past weekend where he gave a speech and he encouraged the crowd to think about getting vaccinated. Now, notice what I said there. He encouraged the crowd to think about getting vaccinated. At no point did he tell the crowd, you should get vaccinated, you need to get vaccinated. He just said, hey, would y'all think about it? And every time he even went close to that, he was met with boos and yells by the angry Republicans in the crowd. Let me read some of these exchanges. This is from the Daily Beast. If you haven't had the vaccine, you ought to think about getting it, because if you're my age, and he didn't get to finish that thought because the crowd erupted in yells of no, no, boo. And then he goes, I didn't tell you to get it. You ought to think about it. And of course, the audience started yelling again. Then he goes, well, I'm glad I got it. 92% of people in hospitals in South Carolina are unvaccinated. And then there were shouts of not true, false. So he's telling them like, all right, fine, you don't want to get it. That's cool. But nearly everybody in these South Carolina hospitals is unvaccinated. And the crowd just says, nope, that's not true. We don't accept that. And then he tries to reason with these people a little more, and he says, how many of you have taken measles shots? Again, he gets boos, and one person audibly yelled, it's not the same thing. There's no reasoning, folks. There's no reasoning. There is no rationale. There is no sense in even trying to talk sense into these individuals. Because Lindsey Graham was right. He didn't even tell them you need to go get it or you should go get it. All he did was, hey, folks, could you think for a moment? Are you willing to think? And the crowd literally shouted back, no, we don't want to think. We don't want to have to use our critical thinking skills to determine whether or not to protect ourselves and our loved ones in the middle of a deadly global pandemic. Man, if that doesn't sum up the Republican Party these days, then I don't know what is. The problem Lindsey Graham has here is when your party has spent years, not just during the pandemic, but even before that, cultivating stupid, which is what you've done. You cultivated stupid, and now you're reaping what you've sown here. You have dumbed down the Republican Party base to the point where you literally can't even tell them or ask them to think. They get angry. They start shouting at you. They heckle you. They boo you for asking them to think for a second. That is the modern Republican Party, folks. They will blindly follow an ideologue off the edge of a cliff, but by God, you ask them to think? And that's when all hell breaks loose. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for fresh content 7 days a week.